Hey friends, it's me, your pal Kelly Zemnickis, and welcome to episode number 54 of It'll Be Fine. I'm so excited for a treat today. I'm excited for any treat we make, but this one is very close to my heart. Fruit crumble! Look at the art. I love me a fruit crumble. It's a very British dessert. I have British roots, but it's close to my heart because when I was a kid, think like 6th grade, 7th grade kind of thing, I really got into baking pretty hardcore, and I would bring berry crumbles to parties because what 6th grader doesn't want a homemade tart or crumble or cobbler? So popular I was, so popular. People appreciated it, and seriously, it's kind of like one of the first things I learned how to make. So I love me a crumble. I do. And I love my guest today. I am so glad this gal is joining us. And we're in England for the first time today. She is in her kitchen right now in London, England. Shamiso Mushambi is joining me today. Shamiso produces a fantastic online comedy show called Comedy Pops. Check them out for sure. She's a very funny lady, very funny stand-up, and someone I've gotten to know through doing comedy online via Zoom. So I am so glad she's in my world because she is fantastic. And we're gonna make crumble! Woohoo!
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
All right, here's what you're going to need for today's recipe. You're going to need, if you have, 3 different kinds of fruits: apples, stone fruit, and berries. Now, in my case, I just have apples and berries, which is fine. Make it all apples. Really do what you want. But we're doing this in a few different styles. So, for the apples, you want a variety. So mix it up. Granny Smith, Golden Delicious, Pink Lady, do a variety of apples. For the stone fruit, again, do a little variety. For the berries, a little variety. That is the suggestion of Jamie Oliver. But do what you want, darn it. You will also need all-purpose flour, sugar, lemon, orange, oats. What am I missing? Nuts, if you want to use some nuts. And you're gonna need some water for this, a bit of honey, a bit of vanilla, and that is it. No kosher salt today. Shucks darn. Now, do you have roommates?
No, I live alone.
Okay, me too. So we're 2 single gals baking.
Yes.
I find sometimes making a recipe, I've got to share it or give it away because it's just too much for one person, right?
Honestly, I have to, as soon as I decide I'm going to bake, I have to make a game plan for feeding other, how to get it to other people, because otherwise, if left by myself, I will just eat the whole thing, which is why I don't actually bake very often for that reason. I'll remove the temptation.
That's a good plan of attack, and I enjoy baking. I kind of find it like my moment of zen in the kitchen. If I'm stressed out, I'll bake, and creating something gives me
It's far more enjoyable. I cook, but baking is more rewarding somehow.
Yes, I agree. I mean, I'm happy with whatever comes out of my kitchen, but extra points.
Yeah, there's something. Yeah, maybe it's the science involved, the alchemy, the extra bit of unknown, will it, won't it, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. No, exactly. So my thinking, being that we're 2 single gals doing this, and we're making 3 versions of a crumble today. Jamie Oliver's got this great way of taking one crumble recipe and splitting it up. Here's my genius idea.
Okay, cool.
I've got my muffin tray. Why don't we make personal size crumbles?
Personal size crumbles. That's a great idea. Hang on. Do I have a muffin tray? I do have a muffin tray.
why don't we do this? Then we can like tuck them in the freezer for, you know, a night where we want to crumble.
Yes.
Let's do it. So
Okay, let's do that.
I'm gonna do 4 of one version. So 4 of each version is what I'm gonna do.
Perfect. Yeah, that lines up perfectly for me as well. Okay, 4 of each. Oh, this is
Amazing.
excellent. I'm gonna have to give that a wash, but yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the easiest way to do it. Because like in the YouTube video that we watched, which I'll put a link to, he's like, make a big batch of crumble, put it in the freezer for a night where you want to bake, which is fine.
Yeah.
This works out to needing like 8 cups of flour for me, which is about 1 kilo for you, or for either of us, just depending on how you pronounce it. But yeah, it's a lot. So
it is a lot. It is really a lot. And even I was on the phone to my mom beforehand, and I was like, she's on a diet, and she's normally one of the people I would feed. She's in my distribution list when it comes to cake. Yeah. So I was like, well, if you're not around, who else am I supposed to distribute this to?
And then I'm using in the recipe I sent you. It calls for apples, berries, and stone fruit.
Yes.
I just have apples and berries, so I'm just gonna do a blueberry, a mixed berry, and an apple. What about you?
Okay. Okay, cool. So I got some frozen berry mix. And I got some apples. And then I've got some stone fruit as well.
Okay, perfect.
So I'll do a bit of everything.
Amazing. So for my apples, just so folks know what I'm doing, I've got Granny Smith, Pink Lady, and Golden Delicious. So
very nice.
We'll mix a bag of apples. We'll get our fruit prepped. Have you done any fruit prep yet? I still have to like cut and.
Yeah, I still have to like cut and peel and all that sort of stuff.
Let's get started on that. How are things in London right now? How is the weather today, by the way?
It's mild. It's nice for London. It's like 52 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's nice.
Usually, just so you know, usually you double and add 30. That's how you get to
double and add 30. Okay, so that would be double 44 plus 30, 74.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, 74. That's like, it's fine, like comfortable. But I didn't realize it was comfortable, but too warm to wear pleather. And I made that mistake. So I was like, oh, it's lovely. Oh no, it's too warm for pleather. Pleather trousers. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, I've gone through a couple of wardrobe changes today just because it's very hot in Toronto today. I think we're at about 30 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius. So it's a hot one. And here. Yeah, with the apples, we're going to try to cut them as tiny as we can. I'm just going to use 3 apples because we're batching down so much.
Yeah.
Go crazy. Are you guys trying to get back to where you were?
Kind of. I mean, certainly the government wants us to be getting back to, doing what we were doing before as soon as possible. But I think people are still really hesitant. People feel very nervous. And I guess I personally assumed people would run straight back to the pub as soon as it was an option. But actually, that hasn't been the case. People have been very cautious. And yeah, just feeling a bit nervous about doing things. And I think that kind of thing is going to remain for a while. What about Toronto?
We just got word that as of Friday, which is 2 days from now, we are going to be more open so that you can now go inside a restaurant and have a meal.
Okay.
With certain restrictions, like when you go in the restaurant, unless you're going to the washroom or you're leaving, you have to stay seated the entire time.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can't wander around. You can't do the big change,
Okay.
Apparently, gyms are going to reopen.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see how numbers go up and down over the course of the next month. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I think we're already seeing some kind of spikes in London. And that's because I guess maybe we've been open, as it were, a bit longer.
Yeah, I think that's inevitable.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Now, just so you know, I have just done half of each apple, so I'm not doing the full one.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do. but
Right.
do what you wish.
I'm almost done with my prep here. So.
Perfect. Yeah, this isn't too complicated, which I kind of dig about Jamie Oliver. He can make like simple recipes.
Actually, I was hugely relieved that you picked something like this because I was like, oh, this is actually doable. I would actually do this. Extremely proactive.
Nice.
About learning new recipes. Since I started living on my own, it's been an active battle to resist making frozen meals every day.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. What are some favorites that you would whip up for your mom?
So she likes any kind of cuisine, but she particularly likes Indian style cuisine, so lots of curries. She likes like sort of Thai food.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's got quite like an adventurous palate, and it's open to anything that tastes good. So she was a good person to experiment on.
Nice.
Yes.
It's good to have people to experiment on.
It's good to have willing victims.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Your alibi there.
Yeah.
They were a willing victim.
All right. So with these apples, which is going to be the first of the crumble top or crumble style that we're making, he's got here 150 grams of sugar. I'm just doing for translation, that's about 3/4 cups. I'm just doing 1/4 cup. So maybe do like 75 grams of sugar.
75 grams of sugar.
So yeah, it's a 1/4 cup for those playing the North American game.
With the apples that you've already cut up, are we putting them straight into the, you're putting them,
Yeah.
They're just to go on the stove, haven't they?
Yeah, because they're going to go onto the stove top with, he says, a splash of water. So I don't know what the heck that means, a tablespoon or two, and a bit of lemon zest. And then it's going to go on the stove top with the lid over it for about 7 minutes, depending on the speed of your oven. I love that I had to write this recipe out by hand because I couldn't find anything to print. That's awesome. Ta-da.
Organized, that's what that is, organized.
Yeah. Like as a kid, I would watch cooking shows and you know what was on at the time in the 90s for food shows. And I would sit with my notebook and make like notes on recipes for things to do one day. So yeah, I've always loved food. Clearly.
Oh, so that's where it came from. That's where that journey began, as it were.
Definitely. What about you? Were you in the kitchen much as a kid, fooling around with food, or?
No. So actually, not at all with food. I grew up in Zimbabwe. So then I moved to the UK when I was 12, and up until that point, I had no involvement with what happened in the kitchen. Food just magically appeared. And then when we moved to the UK, that's when I started learning how to feed myself.
Oh my God.
And then, as a young, I ate myself quite heavy at that point. And then I think when I was a bit older and trying to reconcile the relationship with food, that's when I started like getting in the kitchen and experimenting.
Oh my God.
And like, getting to grips with how to actually make food.
That's pretty awesome. I've got to say, when you have one association with food and then you can turn it around like that in a positive light.
Yes. And that was, I never thought I would, like, I have quite a relaxed relationship with food now, but I would like, if you said that to me as a teenager, I thought that was possible. So
crumble we can make next.
Okay.
Now for this, he's saying do half fat, half flour. So there's quite a lot that he has in the recipe. He's got 1 kilo of plain flour and then half butter. So that's about 500 grams to a kilo. I'm going to kind of use my judgment as to what fits in this bowl. So I'm doing way less than a kilo. I'm maybe doing 1.5 cups, which I don't know how much that is in kilos.
Okay. So I will. Okay, so I can see like.
Play with it.
Oh yeah, so that's like one part flour to half unsalted butter. Okay, well I will
So I
I
think
will do yeah. Hang on, what have I got here?
let's see, 500 grams of butter is 2¼ cups. This is half a cup. I'm going to use 2 sticks of butter is what I'm going to do.
Okay. So
While we're doing this, we've got to keep on our eye on the stove for the apples. Like we're multitasking.
we don't need to stir them or anything, do we? We can just
I'm doing a stir every now and then just to like move it around. But
okay. All right.
Smells nice and fresh.
Wait this
How have the online comedy shows been going for you?
Yeah, so that's been a really interesting journey. I tell you, I quit every week. It was such a painfully fraught decision to even try in the first place.
Yeah.
I had the idea one day, it wouldn't go away, and so I just decided to try it. And I swore when I did the first one that would be the only one.
Yeah.
I think like 10 episodes, 12 episodes later, I'm still doing it, and I quit after each episode. So I've come to accept that part of my journey is to continually wrestle with the feelings of anxiety and, for want of a better word, inadequacy, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to have to accept that that's the daily struggle.
I feel like that's pretty typical of being a stand-up, that you have those nights where you're like, I'm never doing this again.
No, yeah, why would I ever do that?
I'm done.
Do you really admire like when I see everyone gigging, when I see like you've been gigging and all that sort of stuff and you've been posting about it, and like that is awesome, because I feel like one of the disadvantages of running the night is that you know, the administration involved from night to night kind of keeps me busy, so the gigging aspect is kind of falling away, but that's something I want to try and wrestle back in my time, you know. Like, I love running the show, absolutely. I love running Comedy Box. But I'm also like, oh, yeah, I should also gig as well, shouldn't I? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Plenty of options. That is at any time zone. The fact
At any time zone, that is the truth.
I've now done stand-up at 7 a.m. 2 times.
Oh, God. Oh, God. And you were funny at that time in the morning?
I got some laughs. I'm not going
to... Okay. I mean, I'm funny looking at that time of the morning, but that's about it.
Coffee helps. If I've got coffee in a cup, I don't care what I look like. So in my little bowl of flour, which has ended up being 1 stick and 1 cup of flour. That's
okay.
We also need to add, I'd say about 1/4 cup of sugar. Honey, if you want to do a good drizzle of honey. And 2 tablespoons of vanilla. Then with our hands, we're just going to play with our food and crumble it together.
Okay, all right. Sorry about that. My internet connection just cut out completely.
It's so fun. I was talking and then I was like, oh, did my point make no sense? And then I realized.
There's silence. So was I. I was just busy yapping away and I was like, Kenny's a very good listener. But yeah, sorry about that.
It's all good. I don't know if you saw my text, but if you want to take the apples off the stovetop, I think they've been softened for enough now, so you can go take that away.
Okay, cool.
So funny.
Perfect.
Technology is great that way. We're having a good talk about
I know, right?
Oh my gosh. Now, what was the food scene like in Zimbabwe growing up? Any treats that you really miss, or maybe you
I miss strange things. Like I miss the taste of milk, because for some reason milk in the United Kingdom tastes different.
Really?
And as do other milk-based products. So like the chocolate tastes different and all that sort of stuff. But I would like British chocolate is better than Zimbabwean chocolate. But yeah, like the cuisine back home is very like traditional and stodgy. It's like our main food staple is maize meal ground up into with water, and then it makes like a spongy thing, which is called sadza. And you usually that's usually the main carb people have. It's usually that plus stewed meat and then boiled vegetables. And that's like the triangle of like traditional eating in Zimbabwe. But yeah, but we also have like all the big chains, you know, like McDonald's and that sort of stuff. So, you know, yeah, you can. So yeah, I guess there isn't really a huge amount that I miss from Zimbabwean food. So yeah, apart from it sounds strange, but I really miss the milk for some reason.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Like a thing in Canada is to have milk in bags.
Yeah, we used to have milk in bags. Yeah. And the ice cream man would sell it as well. So he'd have ice cream in one side, and then sort of like milk in bags in the other. It was chocolate milk, strawberry, ordinary, and just it's great.
Strawberry milk was one thing as a kid I never got with. I like strawberry ice cream, but the milk,
I do like. I do think strawberry. I concur with you on that one.
Next thing we are going to do is take our berries, however much you want to use. I've got I just bought this at the store. It's huge. This needs $10.
They don't make them smaller than that, apparently. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So if anyone needs berries, just give it. So on the stovetop, we're going to do, I don't know, as much as you want for the amount we're making. And then add a bit of orange juice. He individually cut an orange in half. I've got lemon time. I'm going to use that. And just a bit of sugar, and then we'll let that sit as well with the lid on.
Okay.
For about 5 minutes or so.
Okay, cool. All right. A bit of orange juice.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Now, because I am doing a berry and then a mixed berry, I'm just going to put them all together in one pot.
Okay.
Is your stone fruit fresh or frozen?
My stone fruit is fresh.
All right. So what it has is the recommendation that it is roasted.
Okay.
So what you can do once the berries are prepped is then I'll walk you through what to do with roasting the stone fruit. So if you want to turn your oven to about 108 Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit.
Okay, great.
Okay. So to the berries, we're adding a bit of sugar, again, a splash of water, orange, and then the berries.
Okay. Splash of water.
To that.
This isn't the one where we have to grate strawberries, is it? No, it isn't. No. That's the next one.
Stone fruit, yes. Yeah, if you're doing stone fruit, he has grated strawberry to go along with it, which sounds nice.
Sounds so fancy. Grate a strawberry over the top. I was saying that my first ever hot toddy was on a trip to New York.
Ooh.
And it had the exact effect that you're describing. It was freezing cold, December, out like a light.
And I don't make like a really, really heavy boozy hot toddy, but even the small amount of liquor that I do use, it sucker punches me. I'm done. Which is nuts. All right. So if you're going to go with the roasted fruit option of the stone fruit, add honey and grated strawberries. I don't have anything else. He doesn't mention water, but maybe add a splash of water to this. I don't know. But we've got stone fruit, honey, and grated strawberries. It's going to go into the oven for about 15 minutes. Just want to warm that up. If you're doing that one. Yeah, use your discretion if you want to add the water, because I didn't write that down, so I don't know if you're supposed to.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, the sprinkling of honey, did you say? A sprinkling of honey?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Do that. I really miss just being at a coffee shop and reading or writing and observing people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like people are very edgy, so if you stare at someone, it feels like it's very, like a very weighty thing to do to people watch now, because people are very edgy.
They are. Yeah. They really, really are. And I don't know if you're dealing with this in London, but definitely having issues with folks getting mad that you are wearing a face mask.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a thing. I mean, why is it a thing? Honestly,
No.
it is a thing. There are some people who feel it, it is a step too far. Ask them to do that.
Yeah.
And God, I'd love to say each to his own, but the problem is it's not each to his own, because the virus is still spreading. It's exactly the opposite.
I think this shows just how connected we are to each other. How something that I do affects you. Something that you do affects, which was the case before all of this. We weren't just paying attention to it. So,
but yeah, we just weren't cognizant to the fact that we impacted each other quite so much.
Yeah. What I would love for something to stop happening because of COVID is the whole thing with people showing up to work and being like, I don't feel good today, but I thought I'd come in.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do, do you have your stone fruit in the oven yet?
Yes, so stone fruit is in the oven. Perfect. I was just adding some flaked almonds to one batch of the crumble powder.
Okay. And then what I just did is I just turned on my stove to 350 because that's what's going to bake all the crumbles.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. And I've got to wash my pan. That's
sure.
Got lots of debris. Okay, cool.
So in one crumble topping, we're adding the nuts. In the other one, we will add oats. And then in the last one, we just leave it be. Nothing else.
Okay, so leave it be. So one has nuts, one has nothing, one has oats.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds like a good name for a show. My second concert, Tina Turner with opening act Wang Chung.
Oh my God. Okay, so I have actually also seen Tina.
Yes.
There was a gift I got to my mother, because she was a massive Tina Turner fan, and it was slightly painful for me because I accidentally bought expensive tickets. When you put your tickets in the shopping cart and there's like grades, like standing ticket, cheap ticket,
yeah.
And I just scrolled down just as I pressed pay on the graded ticket and bought like the second most expensive tickets, which were hundreds of pounds each. And I didn't know until the confirmation email came through, and I passed out on the floor. And but it was great. I mean, we were right on the side of the stage. It was great, but honestly, it took me, She's awesome.
She's unbelievable.
She's like next level, honestly, next level.
I know. Yeah, it's so wild. Yeah. I don't know how she picked Wang Chung as her opening act.
That's a strange, I don't know.
Because everybody Have Fun Tonight, Everybody Wang Chung Tonight was a popular song.
Did he only had one, because that's the only song that I know. He only had one hit, no? Or am I maybe?
That's the only song I know by them.
That's the only song that I know too.
Oh my gosh, these look amazing. So we're gonna let this cool, then we're gonna tuck in, but this is our personal berry fruity cobbler. Woohoo! And I don't know about you, but I took a spoon to the pot with the apples and just ate the couple of apples I had left in, and it was so good.
I did that with all of it. I did that with the fruit, and I literally had to stop myself because I was like, this is really bad. It's like 10:30 at night. Stop doing this. Stop doing this. Stop doing this. But it was really good. And I was like, well, now I know what to do with the leftover fruit. Do that.
I love it. So, of course, we decided to tackle a Jamie Oliver recipe today. And I found in my very first Jamie Oliver cookbook that I ever got, The Naked Chef here.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot going on in that cover, no?
There is much going on in this cover. Apparently, he was 24 when this was done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's a recipe for fruit crumble in here. In the book, it calls for a pinch of salt.
Okay.
I have no memory of hearing salt in the YouTube video we watched.
No, neither did I. And I didn't see anything on the ingredient list either.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
if you have this book at home, there is a fruit crumble recipe in it that is pretty much what we did, but ever so slightly different. It's gonna be fine. And because you asked, here's the CD.
Ooh, look at that.
Just gonna start my Jamie Oliver fan club now.
Oh my God, between the two of them, there's both so much to unpack there. It's just not enough time. It's just, yeah. Honestly.
Yours looks so good.
The smell coming off of these is like.
I'm so excited. I've got a little bowl here. I'm gonna pop one of mine into a bowl.
Yes.
And are you gonna do custard or ice cream?
I'm gonna do custard.
All right.
Yes, I've got some custard warmed up here.
Oh, perfect. The other day, for an upcoming episode of the show, had to do some caramel, as we mentioned earlier. So I've got some caramel sauce I'm going to add.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
With your homemade caramel sauce.
You know what I did to make this?
Yeah.
It's so hot in Toronto, I left a bag of caramels on my balcony.
Oh, you just melted them down. Actually, a great idea. Actually, that's a great idea. Like, why would you bother? Like, I thought you did the sugar thing and the temperature and the thermometer and the and
I left it on the balcony. Not a word of a lie. All right. Are you ready to tap into this?
Okay. All right.
I'm so excited. I'm starting with apple. I feel like I'm drooling already. I just want to eat this. Oh, man. Yeah, the crumble just worked out perfectly on top, and so good.
Probably the best thing that's happened to me all week.
Amazing. Well, cheers to you.
Cheers to you as well.
Gee, let's get a good bite of everything.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, what more do you want in life?
I was just going to say, who needs a boyfriend?
Honestly, this is far more satisfying. This is so good.
This is so good.